So you are a lady and you want to date an awakened man. You're a man, you want to date an awakened woman. This video is for you. I want you to listen very closely. Before you understand what you're trying to do, you need to go and do some homework on what being awakened means. Being awakened is where a person is kind of like, what is the best way I can say this? An awakened person is an individual who is not operating on your timeline. They have already shifted paradigms. They are no longer on that paradigm you used to know that you're familiar to. And it's a very uncomfortable paradigm. Not only for them, for you as well. One of the things you realize with awakened people, a lot of them, they reach a stage where they are going to pull out of dating. They are going to pull the plugs on dating. They are going to stop dating for some time. Because they are now starting to see so many of those things that many people cannot see. They see the world differently. So they are trying to figure out what is going on around them. And that is also what triggers these people to get out of these dating things and stuff, and even sometimes being very close to people. It's for a very basic reason. Now, during that process, when they are alone, they are going to master solitude, embodying their own energy and being in solitude. When they embody that energy, it is going to be very difficult for those people to let you in. They will like you. They could like your body. They could like the way you speak, maybe your eyes or something. But they are looking beyond the veil. Because you see, these are spiritual people. Awakened people tend to be very spiritual people. They understand the spirit realm and the spiritual world, how it operates on a plane that you cannot even comprehend. These people, they spend a very long time doing work, inner work on themselves, the inner work. You guys have heard about that word, doing the inner work. A lot of time. You have no idea. They do a lot of work. They do a lot of healing. And when a person is healed, even if they are not fully 100% healed, they heal to a level where there is a certain degree of stuff they can tolerate. They have very strong boundaries. Some things they can say yes, some things they will say no, but they are very careful with their energy. Now, in that process, those people become a mirror. They are going to reach a stage where they're going to become a mirror. Because these people have been doing a lot of shadow work on themselves. So at some point, they're going to become a mirror. And they're not going to be your ordinary, regular mirror that you always have at home in your bathroom. They're going to be a mirror that is going to reflect back to you everything that you don't want to believe or accept about yourself. They are going to see things for what they are, and they speak it as it is. So they are not going to leave any table unturned. And usually, why you see these people kind of stepping away from relationships, because they don't want it to get to a point where they're going to hurt somebody. They don't want to hurt you. Because they know at some point in time, those people, they're going to crack through your ego, and you're going to break. Not only will you break, you will crack. So in the beginning of those relationships, they have already seen it. They have already seen it that they're going to crack your ego. Because you see, a person who is not fully awakened, they may kind of be in that energy of, the ego. They are like, they usually very much worried about who says what. Everything is about them, those kind of things. They have masks, different types of masks they're wearing. An awakened person is a very organic person. They have nothing to prove. They have no competition with anyone. They are just waking up doing what they want to do, what they need to do. So they are operating in a completely different energy. It's an energy that if you have not done the work, it is going to be very difficult for you to fully align with that energy. It's going to be very difficult. Why is it very difficult? Because a lot of the things they are going to say, they will trigger you. Things they are going to do, they're going to trigger you. The direction they want to take is going to trigger you. Everything about them is completely different because these people, they're awakened for a reason. Most of them even find their purpose. Some of them try to move a certain direction. Some of them, they have already switched up the whole game. The entire paradigm is different. So when you are a person who runs into those guys, it is going to be a very attractive energy. It's something you want to be around because you can watch them from a distance. But when you do come close to those people, you're going to realize you cannot keep up. You cannot keep up with their pace. They are dragging you at a speed that you're not ready for. Whenever you see them, they are showing you a reflection of yourself, the other part of yourself. Because remember, these people are awakened, so they don't have an ego. Yes, they have some little bit of ego here and there, but they are not operating within their ego. And the person who is not operating within their ego, they are able to reflect everything back to you. So there may be, for example, some things that you don't want to talk about. It may be a subject that we don't want to address. It may sometimes be a certain element of yourself that you don't want to talk about. They're going to bring it in your face. They're going to put it on the table and they want it to be addressed. And it's going to make you very, very uncomfortable. And most of the times, people don't want to be shown those elements of them that they don't want to hear. So that's why it becomes very difficult when you're dating those people, because there's elements of yourself that you've always been hiding. You don't want to be seen. There's masks you've always been wearing. You've been hiding in your closet. They are going to mention everything in front of you, and they're going to say it as it is. So most of the times, if you're not ready for truth, if you're not ready for authenticity, if you're not an authentic person, you're that kind of person who is always working from the shadows and that kind of stuff, they are going to bring out a lot of BS on the table that you don't want to hear. They are good people. Don't misunderstand me in this video. They are very good people, very, very good and warm people, very empathic people. But in most of the cases, those people, they have already fought battles that you have no idea of. They have been walking journeys you cannot even comprehend in your mind. So those people, they have decided to walk towards the light. So which means that if you're going to date a person that is awakened, you're going to have to be willing to also walk towards the light. So if you're afraid of light, you always want to be in the shadows, in the darkness, they're going to move you at a speed that you're not comfortable with. And that is why it becomes very challenging. So most of the times when you're dealing with awakened people, sometimes they will see this forehand. And they may even sometimes tell you that, listen, you're very nice, a good person. I know, I wish you all the best. And, but they feel that spiritually, you're not there yet. So sometimes they may actually tell you in advance that, listen, however much we may be attracted to each other, maybe even physically, but also it is important to understand that this thing, where it may go or where it may go or where it may end, it is going to cause a lot of pain. And those people they want to actually prevent you from feeling that pain, because it's going to be very deep pain. So sometimes they find a very polite way to gravitate away from you without triggering you, because those people, they're like triggers, they're walking triggers. An awakened person is a walking trigger, There are sometimes when I'm just doing my thing on YouTube, for example, I feel like there's a dog around here. I'm just there doing my thing. I'm not bothering anyone. I'm just doing what needs to be done. And sometimes I'm triggering people and I'm not even aware of it. So that's what happens with those people. So dating an awakened person is hard, is challenging, I could say. It may be sometimes easier when they are like running into other people that are awakened. They understand things or they view the world the same way that they do. That may be the only way that that thing might work out. But usually it's going to be very hard. If you're not awakened and you are trying to drag yourself to date an awakened person, it's going to be very hard. I'm not saying that it may not work out, but there may be a few cases where people could try to work out something. But in most of the cases, it's not going to work. You know, you cannot be in your ego and you're trying to date a person that is not in their ego. It's going to be very hard. Challenging, I could say. That's the best word to use. So those are the things you need to be aware of if you're intending to go on those dates with the person that you know is awakened. You like the woman, maybe because of their spirituality, maybe because of their authenticity, the way they move, the way they do things. You could be interested in those people, but just put in your mind, be cautious about those things. It's not always going to be a very smooth one. You see, back in the days, it was too easy and too smooth. If you knew them before the awakening, that was easy. It was not a big deal. But post-awakening, the game will change. The rules are completely different. So I don't know what is your case, but I think I did this video for the people that are starting their journey. They have awakened and they are beginning their journey. And for those of you guys who are going to run into people and maybe they may propose some dates with you or stuff like that, those are the things you need to prepare for. And again, I always say in my videos, it's not personal. It's not everybody wakes up at the same time. Some people wake up faster than the other ones. It's not personal. You just have to understand that everybody has got their own time. So when it doesn't mean your time and you run into those individuals, learn from them because they're going to teach you so many things. Learn from them. Watch them. Learn from them. I don't know. They will teach you a lot of stuff. But when it comes to relationships, it's going to be very difficult. Okay? So let me know what you think. That was my opinion. You guys already know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll see you guys in my next one. Denzamos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.